Hey, Gravediggers, Jess here. This is very heartbreaking to say, but Jen and I will no longer be recording this amazing podcast. It is nothing that anybody done. It's just our lives are way too hectic and we have way too much going on, and our families and our mental health should be our main priority right now. That doesn't mean that we're going to be giving up on this. We are on a permanent hiatus as of now, but we could possibly come back from the dead or from the grave in the future. We will still have our Instagram and our email and our Discord up. So if you still want to speak with us, please don't hesitate to talk to us. We would still love to hear from you. But like all good things, this too must come to an end. So please enjoy our series finale and thank you for everything. Welcome to Tales from the Graves, where shadows lurk and whispers echo.
Join us as we delve into the unknown, exploring tales of mystery, horror, and the supernatural.
Be prepared to journey into the darkness, where the line between reality and nightmare blurs.
I'm Jen.
And I'm Jess.
Together, we're the Grave Sisters, and we'll be your guides as we unearth the strange and unusual.
So find your flashlight, grab your shovel, and let's dig in.
The following podcast is rated for mature audiences.
It may contain graphic scenes of violence and explicit language that some may find disturbing.
Listener discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome back, our beloved Gravediggers, to episode 28.
Yep, 28.
Whew, we are already halfway through January, and boy, has it been one hell of a 2025, I'd say.
We don't know yet.
No, we don't know yet. We're recording this in December.
Yeah.
But I'm just already assuming it's going to be a crazy 2025.
Probably. 35 is looking like a crazy year for me already.
Yeah. Well, today's topic is one that is kind of touchy to some people because it involves skepticism and people who believe in, I don't know, psychics and mediums, fortune tellers, sensitives. I mean, Jennifer and I have definitely had our fair share of experiences with our sensitivity and paranormal stuff that's happened around us all of our lives. So why not deal or have an episode going over like one of the world's biggest skeptics, Houdini.
He was. Surprisingly enough, even though he was a master of sleight of hand, he was a very large skeptic. And I think his job that he did made him such a huge skeptic.
Yeah.
Because with magic, it's all, look right at my right hand while my left hand is actually doing the trick.
Mm-hmm. I mean, a lot of that, I think, led to his skepticism. Well, let's get started with just a pinch of his early life. So, Houdini was born Eric Weiss in 1874 in Budapest, Hungary.
I'm sorry.
Budapest.
Paul. No. His name was Eric.
E-R-I-K.
And he changed it to Harry Houdini.
He changed it to Harry Houdini to make it more appealing. It's like a stage name.
Okay. I never knew that.
Yeah, but he was born Eric Weiss, W-E-I-S-Z, in 1874 in Budapest, Hungary. He immigrated to the United States as a child. His early life was marked by poverty and a strong sense of family loyalty. So, I mean, you got to think, if you don't have a dime to your name, what do you have?
Family.
You have your family. Houdini was initially showed interest in the supernatural and was fascinated by spiritualism, which, of course, this is Victorian America.
Yeah.
So
spiritualism was huge. It was definitely huge. On the rise.
Oh yeah, I'm a big Victorian spiritualism person. I just love the history and all of it. So I would be like Houdini at that time. So it claimed to offer communication with the dead. The movement was especially popular in the 19th and the 20th centuries, with mediums conducting seances, spirit photography, and the table rapping sessions. For Houdini, this interest in the supernatural had personal undertones. He was deeply devoted to his mother. They were best friends until the end. He was a big mama's boy. His name was Cecilia Weiss. And after her death in 1913, he searched for ways to communicate with her. However, his experiences with spiritualists quickly soured.
Oh, yeah.
So now it's time of the rise of spiritualism and Houdini skepticism. So by the 20th century, spiritualism had gained significant traction, especially following the devastation in World War I and the 1918 influenza pandemic, which, I mean, millions of people died. Millions of people were grieving the loss of their loved ones. And so, of course, with that lost connection of your loved ones, there is a want and a need to see if they're okay. And know that they're always going to be there with you no matter what. Which is totally understandable. Definitely.
Really, I think it's selfish.
Really?
Yeah. So, my whole thought process is funerals aren't for the dead. Funerals are for the living.
For the living to say goodbye.
Yeah, for the living to say goodbye. And the fact that you're wanting to hold a seance to drag someone back so you can have a peace of mind is selfish and cruel, because that person could be laying to rest just fine, and then you rip them from whatever eternity that they're in, if there is one, and you're bringing them back and potentially causing them to have regrets. And not return back to their eternal rest. So that's kind of what I feel. If they're already a spirit and they're already here, trying to communicate with them is nothing, honestly. Like it's trying to understand the other side. But I think doing the whole seance thing, I think it's not right.
Fair enough. Damn.
Who knew that I'd have such convictions?
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, back to this. Let me see. Houdini began investigating mediums, hoping to find genuine evidence of communication with dead. Instead, he encountered charlatans who used tricks akin to stage magic to deceive grieving families. So, I'm with you. I'm with you there, Houdini. Houdini's extensive knowledge of illusion and sleight of hand enabled him to recognize fraudulent techniques easily. For example, he could spot concealed wires, hidden compartments, or misdirection that spiritualists used to fake supernatural phenomena. Disillusioned, Houdini became determined to expose what he saw as a cruel exploitation of people's grief. Go get it, Houdini. Okay. In 1922, Scientific American magazine offered a cash prize for anyone who could provide conclusive evidence of psychic abilities under controlled conditions. Houdini joined the panel of judges, which included prominent scientists and researchers. One of the most famous cases involved Mina Crandon, better known as Marjorie. Quote-unquote Marjorie. I don't know why her name is Marjorie when her name was Mina, but oh well. She was Boston-based medium. Marjorie's seances were widely acclaimed, and many believed her abilities were genuine. Houdini, however, was skeptical, as he always has been, during one of her seances, and he uncovered evidence of fraud including her use of psychic trickery to move objects and create quote-unquote spirit voices. While other judges were initially impressed by Marjorie, Houdini's meticulous observations and reports ultimately discredited her claims. Just imagine how shitty those people felt after, man, I saw Marjorie and I got the closure I needed, and then Houdini's like, bullshit!
Yeah.
Like, well, did my loved one not talk to me? What? I would feel really bad for those people. So, Houdini was pretty much a very public crusade against frauds. He made it his mission to expose fraudulent mediums traveling across the United States and Europe to attend seances in disguise and reveal their tricks. In many cases, he disrupted seances by publicly unmasking the mediums in front of their followers. Like, Scooby-Doo. It's Mr. Jones, and I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for you meddling Houdinis.
Oh my god.
Okay.
You think you're so hilarious right now, don't you?
Yeah. Okay, well, anyway, his exposés often caused public outcry, as many spiritualists had devout followings. In 1924, Houdini published a book titled A Magician Among the Spirits. It detailed his investigations into the spiritualism. So the book offered detailed accounts of his encounters with mediums, explaining their methods and exposing their fraud. So Houdini's campaign angered many in the spiritualist community, as it should, leading to bitter confrontations. So here are some of the cases and investigations that were exposed by Houdini. So there was Anna Eva Fay, which was the quote-unquote pioneer of mentalism. So Anna Eva Fay was a famous medium and performer whose spirit messages captivated audiences, and her seances involved table rapping, automatic writing, and other seemingly paranormal phenomena. Houdini found that Fay used accomplices and pre-arranged signals to convey information. Despite her exposure, Fay remained popular due to her charisma and skill. So, the next one is Eusapia Palladino. So, Eusapia was an Italian medium renowned for her psychic manifestations and was investigated by scientists and spiritualists alike. Her seances included levitating tables and spirit touches. Houdini found that Palladino employed simple physical tricks, such as using her foot to move objects or manipulating her surroundings with wires. Her methods were exposed during scientific investigations in controlled conditions. Next was the Mina Marjorie Crandon, the Boston medium. So Marjorie claimed to channel her deceased brother, Walter, who supposedly spoke through her during seances. Her performances included ringing bells, moving objects, and producing ectoplasm. Houdini participated in the investigation of Marjorie as a judge whenever he started in with the Scientific American Challenge or whatever. He attended her seances and meticulously documented her techniques. He revealed Marjorie's use of hidden wires, ventriloquism, and physical sleight of hand. He even created a box to confine her hands and feet during the seances, which neutralized her abilities, and this led to her disqualification from the prize. Next was Friedrich Albert Powell. He was called the telegraph medium. Powell claimed to receive messages from the dead using a spirit telegraph, which would produce letters of the alphabet during seances. Houdini demonstrated that Powell used concealed buttons and assistants to manipulate the telegraph's signals. His exposure of Powell was one of many examples of mechanical mediumship fraud. I never heard about mechanical mediumship or anything like that, but I think it has something to do with, since he used telegraphs and typing letters and whatnot.
Yeah.
Let me see.
If you haven't seen it, the Michel Poirot movie of A Haunting in Venice, that medium uses that type of, where it's a typewriter and it types a letter and she gets information based on that. Yeah, it's really interesting. It's a really great movie if you haven't watched it yet.
Now, what's the name of the movie?
A Haunting in Venice.
All right.
Yeah.
Coolio. Let's see. Next, Reverend Jesse Shepherd. Shepherd was a spiritualist and medium. He conducted seances in which he claimed to channel music played by deceased composers. Houdini discovered Shepherd used concealed musical devices to create the illusion of spirit performances, further discrediting his claims. Next was Florence Cook and the Spirit of Katie King. So, Florence was a British medium, claimed to summon the spirit of Katie King, who appeared as a full-bodied apparition during seances. Houdini exposed that such apparitions were often accomplices or the mediums themselves in costume. While he did not directly investigate Cook, he detailed the methods used in cases like hers to unmask similar frauds. So there were some photography cases that he investigated as well. So spirit photography was popularized by figures like William Hope. I don't know who William Hope is, but I kind of feel like I want to look his stuff up. Involved doctored photographs that purportedly captured images of spirits. Houdini revealed the use of double exposures and retouched negatives in these fraudulent photos. His exposures led to Hope's methods being widely discredited. Right? So, the origin story of Photoshop, basically.
Yeah. Basically.
Let me see. There's one that was Eva Carlier, I think that's how you pronounce it, was the ectoplasm medium. So Ava produced ectoplasm during seances, a substance that she claimed was physical proof of spiritual manifestation. But Houdini demonstrated that ectoplasm was often made from gauze, cheesecloth, or animal entrails concealed in the medium's body. So what some of those mediums would do is before any of their seances, they would swallow this stuff and then regurgitate it on their own during the seances to make it look like they were spitting up ectoplasm and stuff.
Why would you do that?
I don't know. But just think of like swallowing like 6 feet of fabric just to make yourself regurgitate it on command. Makes me just want to throw up like normal right now.
Yeah.
No. The last one was Jean Guzik. Guzik, or Jean Guzik. Guzik was a Polish medium, conducted seances in which spirits supposedly moved furniture and answered questions. Houdini caught Guzik using assistants and concealed threads to move objects. He also exposed how Guzik created sounds by cracking knuckles and manipulating furniture. Like the Fox sisters, how they would like pop their toes.
Really?
Mm-hmm. But of course, with him exposing all these people, there are going to be people coming out of the woodwork, and you're going to have some kind of conflict, no matter what, right? And his most notable rivalry was with Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, which was the creator of the Sherlock Holmes books.
Yeah, I remember they had beef.
Oh, they had some mega beef. So
To be fair, I think author Conan Doyle had beef with a lot of people.
probably,
I think
honestly,
he
thought
just
he was hot
wanted,
shit.
yeah, something like that.
Ironically, Doyle, known for his logical and deductive reasoning in his literary work, was a staunch believer in spiritualism. The two men initially bonded over their shared interests in mysticism, but their relationship quickly soured. Doyle's belief in spiritualism was unwavering, and he saw Houdini's skepticism as a direct attack on his faith. He even accused Houdini of possessing supernatural powers himself and using them to discredit genuine mediums. Houdini vehemently denied this, asserting that his feats were purely based on skill and illusion. And the rift between Houdini and Doyle became public and acrimonious. I mean, with both men engaging in heated debates in the press, they're pretty much like shit talking each other in the press. Like how rappers
Yep.
have beef with somebody and they say something and then the other person retaliates and says something awful and keeps going back and forth. That's basically what they were doing. Crap talking each other in public. Their falling out highlighted a cultural divide between believers and skeptics during this era. Oh my gosh. I remember hearing about one time one of the mediums said, "I have your mother here with me." And he was like, "Okay, talk to me, mother." And so the mom was like, "I'm okay. I love you. And I will see you one day and everything." And then Houdini was like, "Bullshit." And the psychic was like, "What do you mean? You are speaking English. My mother could not speak a lick of English.
Yep.
She only spoke Hungarian. So if it really was my mother, you would be speaking perfect Hungarian right now. You are so full of crap." And that made him want to pursue it even harder because he was so mad that somebody tried to use his own mother against him. I mean, I would be too if I were Houdini. But yeah, I thought that one was a cool one. It's like, you're full of crap. My mom didn't speak English. Now, there is something called the Houdini Code. Before his death in 1926, Houdini devised a secret code with his wife Bess to test the legitimacy of mediums. The code consisted of a series of words that only they knew. Nobody else. And Houdini promised that if communication from the afterlife was indeed possible, that he would use that code to prove it. And Bess would be able to write about it or tell somebody about it. After Houdini's death, Bess conducted yearly seances on Halloween, which was the anniversary of his death. Really cool, because he died on Halloween. For a decade, hoping to hear the secret code. Despite the efforts of numerous mediums, the code was never revealed, further cementing Houdini's legacy as a skeptic of the supernatural. But Houdini's crusade against spiritualism, left a lasting impact, as it probably should have. And his work exposed, the tricks used by fraudulent mediums and inspired future skeptics and investigators of the paranormal. And today, Houdini is remembered, not only as a master magician, but as a champion of rationality and critical thinking. And Houdini's seances and his battles with spiritualism remain a fascinating chapter in the history of skepticism and the enduring debate over the supernatural. I want to know what those secret words are. Do you think that Bess ever wrote those words down?
I don't know, because I think if she wrote it down, it would put it at some kind of advantage to be stolen and used against her. Especially in these seances that she held.
I want to know what the code was. If you had a code for you passing away, What do you think your code would be?
It's gonna be super, super absurd because it can't be anything like related to who I am as a person.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna quote one of my favorite videos to quote, and that's how I ended up with a whole bag of jelly beans stuffed up my ass.
Um.
Um,
So now here I am with barbecue sauce on my titties.
yeah, so there I am. Barbecue sauce all over my titties.
Or I'd be like, Hinkle, Finkle, Dinkle, Do. A hen. Rugrats, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. But how do you feel about psychics and mediums and stuff? Do you think that some of that stuff really is true?
I do think that some things are true. I do not believe the things that happened during the Victorian spiritualism movement. I don't believe that everyone there was like legit, obviously, because there were way too many of them to be, true.
Like you couldn't go down the street without bumping into a medium.
Yes.
Yeah.
There were so friggin' many of them. Now, we've already talked on my, feelings of doing a seance and calling a specific person and being like, what you doing, boo-boo?
But what if you go to
afterlife.
like a haunted place and then a psychic goes and then can just tell you all about the history without having research or...
I do think that is very possible. I like watching, what is it? The Undead Files?
Oh, the Dead Files.
Yeah, the Dead
now
Files.
Cindy Kaza is the psychic on there instead of Amy.
Really?
Yeah, Cindy Kaza from Holzer Files.
See, I haven't watched it in a while.
And she even helped on like Paranormal Lockdown with like Jack and Michelle Belanger. She used to help on a lot of on quite a few shows, and I like Michelle Belanger because she doesn't fuck around.
Yeah. See, I think that if we had a more spiritual, like a spiritualist movement again,
Yeah.
Those are the type of psychic mediums that I would be more inclined to believe, are the people who don't go out necessarily seeking fame or fortune or anything like that.
Yeah.
Because I know when things happen to me, it doesn't always feel the most pleasant. So, like, sure, I'll do stuff, but it doesn't mean I'm going to be happy about it. And I figure it's almost like that for other psychic mediums.
Yeah. Like, Teresa Caputo. I know that, like, she didn't start her psychic journey until, like, 15 years ago, something like that. Like, she got in, like, some kind of accident or just woke up one morning and boom, she was psychic. And you're like, I don't know. That one seemed kind of hinky. But, like, I remember there was this one guy that got famous for doing, like, these mass rooms, and he would always, like, wear black or whatever. And he'd be like, I get a feeling that there is someone with a name that starts with the letter P over here on this side. Okay, not a P? All right, what about a T? No?
Oh, yeah, he was
A
just
B?
shooting in the dark.
Yeah, I know somebody that has a name that starts with the B. Yes, it's you. Is it Bob? Bill? Bruce?
Yeah.
Yes, that's it. That's the name, Because I've also seen like a documentary where some of these psychics like pre-screened all the people that would come in, and they would like Google people and search people's background information and stuff and feed the psychic information about people in the audience so that they would get quote unquote drawn to that person and want to give them information.
Yep. That was a common thing.
Yes. How do you think spiritualism would have been different if they would have actually done the research and stuff?
Like, what do you mean, done the research?
Like if they did more in-depth research, like how now they can just pretty much Google somebody and you get a background check, you get their life story, you get their maiden name, you get their past addresses and all this other shit. If they could have done that during the spiritualism movement, man, they would have been unstoppable.
Probably, but at the same time, like, who's really gonna look up a whole bunch on people who are just coming to a show or something you're doing?
Yeah.
Well, I say that, but obviously they did.
Yeah. I would be more apt to like making an appointment with a psychic and then say, don't give me any information about you at all. Just give me your first name and that's it. I'd be more apt to believing somebody like that because I know they wouldn't be able to look up my information if all they have is my first name, you know?
Yeah.
And then as soon as you come in, they get the read on you. I believe that more, honestly.
Same. Because with some things it's very... Like, they're asking too many questions. Why do you need to know this? Why do you need to know that?
You're psychic. Why the fuck do I need to tell you anything?
Exactly. Well, I need to better hone in on your spirit.
Yeah.
Really? Because I think you lying out your ass.
And I'd want to, like, go in there without any jewelry on, without any specific kind of makeup, no defining clothes, because I don't want them to be able to read me just by looking at all this stuff like, oh, I see you're wearing a ring. Are you married? Are you engaged? Your significant other thinks this. I don't want to give them any kind of leading information.
Yep. That, I think, is the biggest issue we have is people are so forthcoming, they don't even realize it.
Mm-hmm.
With the information that they just wear. For self-protection and things of that nature, I've been told not to get a personalized license plate because those are recognizable.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So, you know, just like with that, people can tell a lot about you from just the vague information that they can find online nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah. But I guess, yeah. Well, that's pretty much all that I have on Houdini's psychic hunt. What about you, Gravediggers? Do you believe in mediums and psychics? Do you not believe in mediums and psychics? Have you ever been to a seance? Have you ever, I don't know, just talk to us. We wanna hear from y'all.
Tell us all the tangy tangs.
But I guess like Houdini, for now I'm just gonna let this one rest and we will talk to you later. Bye. If you like what you heard, please feel free to follow, like, rate, and review Tales from the Graves podcast on your preferred listening platform.
We also would like to know what you think and what topic you suggest we unearth next. Email us at talesfromthegravespod@gmail.com or reach out to us at Tales from the Graves podcast on Instagram.
And if you have Discord, join us in the graveyard. The link is in our bio on our Instagram as well as this listening platform. Thanks again, Gravediggers.